Hi guys, welcome. My name is Mandy and this is my knitting podcast. I am here to talk to you about knitting and crochet and all of the crafting antics that I get onto throughout the week. I am 38 years old. I am almost 39. I live in southeastern Michigan with my husband and my 2 kids. I am a huge sweater knitter, so I love to make all the sweaters and all the cardigans, and I love to try out new patterns and new designs and new construction, and I am generally happiest when I am making some type of garment. I love to push myself with my knitting. I love to learn new things, and I hope that sounds interesting to you. For this podcast, I will be talking about my works in progress, my finished objects, and a couple of fun patterns that I've ran into throughout the week. I am a paraplegic. I use a wheelchair full time now. I am incompletely paralyzed, basically from the waist down. I love the fact that I have this podcast because I love to be able to reach people from all over the world and just meet new people in the knitting and crochet community and just be able to keep in touch this way. Sometimes it's not super easy to get to fiber festivals and things like that, especially in a wheelchair. A lot of them take place outside, so this is one of the reasons that I'm very thankful to have this podcast. I hope that this all sounds interesting to you, and if it does, stick around because that's what it's going to be for the next 40-ish minutes. So, okay, first we're going to talk about admin. So for admin, every podcast, I give away a pattern, and in order to enter to give away the pattern, you just need to leave a comment below, and next week on Sunday, I will draw for a winner. And the pattern prize has to be under $15, and you're only eligible to win once a month. So if I draw your name twice in a month, I'm sorry, I'm going to draw again just because I want to make sure that everybody has a fair chance. So you're able to pick any pattern that you want, and if I do draw your name, then contact me on Instagram or Ravelry as mandyvaughnknits. Okay, so I am going to leave a blank spot right here. Okay, so that was where I put in the winner for last week's pattern. I have no clue who it was yet because I haven't drawn for it. I don't generally draw for it until I'm editing. So if that was your name, please get in contact with me, like I said, through Ravelry or Instagram. I'm on both of theirs, mandyvaughnknits, and let me know what pattern you want, and I will get that sent out to you. Either through Ravelry, if you use it, and if you don't, let me know, and we can come up with hopefully a different way to get you a pattern. We'll figure it out. So just get in contact with me. Okay, so this week has been interesting because I have been almost monogamously working on my Willow pullover. So I don't have a lot to show you in the way of knitting just because I've been working on that. So I've been doing a test knit, and my test knit is the Willow pullover from Andrea Gaughan, and this is actually the second one I've done. So the first one is too big, and the reason that it's too big is not because my gauge was off or the pattern had any issues. It was because I picked the wrong pattern size. Now, I need to really watch myself when I look at a pattern and pick the size, because I tend to pick a size that's oversized, and I do want it oversized, but sometimes when the pattern is meant to have a lot of ease, I don't need to pick the oversized size. Does that make sense? So if I were to say make a boxy, and have you guys seen the boxy? It's very oversized. The sleeves are more fitted. I wouldn't use a larger bust circumference than I have to pick the size for that. But if I wanted to make, say, this by the way is the Timeless Henley. This is from Locatelli, and I love this pattern. This is more of a fitted pattern. So if I wanted to make this and make it oversized, I would size that one up. The boxy pullover is meant to have, or not. Can you tell it's early? It's not even that early. It's noon. Okay, so my brain is in outside space. But the Willow pullover is meant to have between like around 8 inches of positive ease. So when I picked my size, I sized up, not taking that into consideration. So I have a larger boxy pullover, and last week, Stephanie from Blackbird Sycamore Yarns actually left a comment and talked to me about taking out the sleeves on the Willow pullover. I'm actually going to show it to you because I have it right here. Taking out the sleeves and kind of remaking them smaller and just sewing up because it's a drop shoulder. So I might actually try doing that. I love this color, and it's not so much the body that bothers me about it being oversized. It's the sleeves aren't fitted, and I really like oversized as long as the sleeves are fitted. But anyways, this is what I've been working on throughout the week because it is a test knit, and I figured, you know, I should actually make the size I should have made to begin with, of course. So here I am knitting it again, and ironically I like this one even more than the pink one. There's yarn coming. So here we are. This is a basket weave sweater, and you can probably see my ends not woven in. So here we go. This is real life. I haven't had a chance to kind of knit them or weave them in yet, but I started this on July 7th, and it's July 21st. I have to finish the collar and the sleeves, and then I'm done with it. And I'm very excited because this is going to fit a lot better. And I do like it. The only problem, I guess, is this. Now, when I'm wearing this and I'm thinking, hey, I love this, and then looking at this one, whose color I love way more than the blue, which is sad. So here's the question. Do I still fix these sleeves, or do I take it out and make one that fits like this? So the yarn that I used for this, and I actually used the same yarn for both of them, just in different colors, is Lang Yarn Regina. It has cotton, alpaca, silk, and some wool. It's I believe it's 50-ish% cotton too. So you can definitely tell if you break, like, pull this yarn apart, you can definitely tell where the cotton is, because you'll rip it and then there'll be like this little tiny sewing thread that's still kind of, let me see if I can show you one. Is that gonna show up? Probably not because I'm in the way. There we go. See the little sewing thread? Yep. I'm pretty sure that's the cotton. For what it's worth though, this is a DK weight yarn and I love it. I would definitely use this again. It is so light. So this big one over here, right? It's like no weight. It's the lightest thing ever, which is kind of why part of me wants to, what do I want to do? Part of me really wants to make the sleeves smaller and wear it as like an oversized basket weave. And part of me doesn't because I really want the smaller sweater. So I don't know. I may just sit on it for a little bit. But it's so soft. If you've never used that yarn before, I 100% recommend it because that pink sweater was actually my first time using it and I was so surprised at how it came out. And when it does black, it gets even lighter. I don't even know how that's possible, but this is not going to take very much longer because like I said, let's talk about the construction on this because that's going to be kind of interesting. So the first thing that you do is way down here, you cast on and then you work it bottom up. So in essence, you pretty much work until this little sleeve hole almost. So you're working bottom up until this hole for the sleeve and then you kind of split front and back. So then you're gonna work your front one side all the way up with the decreases for the neck and then you do the same for the other side. And then once those are done, you leave both of those on holders and then you come around and you're working all the way up to the back and eventually you get to short rows in which you work short rows for the back. And then once those short rows are done, you're going to 3 needle bind off for the shoulders. It is such a good pattern and I really do like the stitch pattern on it because it's so easy to memorize and I've always wanted a basket weave sweater, so now I'm super happy that I'm gonna have one. And this yarn makes it to where I could probably wear this in the spring and fall and in the summer if I'm staying inside. Not outside, because I don't think I could wear any type of sweater outside. Not right now. The other day, yes, because it was like 70 degrees. But in fact, the other day we went and sat outside for a while and I was freezing. So I would have definitely worn like a sweater out there. But you know, it's July, right? You don't expect to need a sweater. Come on, Michigan, catch up. But this little, I don't know how long the sleeves will take me, but I do know that from here to here is like 17 inches, I think. Yeah, I think from here to here is 17 inches on me. So I know that my my arm length is shorter than average. I'm only 4'8", so whenever I'm making sweaters, that's kind of part of the reason that they don't take as long as if I were knitting for somebody much taller than me, because I am only 4'8", so I kind of luck out in that department. I don't have to make them as long. But that is my Willow pullover, and I'm hoping to at least get one sleeve done. I have been working on this. The test knit ends on April 25th, and I want my knit, like my sweater, to be done well before that. I did not show you my bag, and I'm going to because I think it's really pretty. This is a bag that I got from Blackbird Sycamore Yarns Etsy shop. So this is so pretty, and it's dragons, and she posted it on Instagram, and I immediately went and bought it because I loved it. So I just thought I'd show you that. This is just a Hobie tote bag, so it's not very interesting. But I don't know about you guys, but I love carrying like these totes. And like these just plain tote bags. They're so useful to me. I have them everywhere. So, okay. This is the only other thing I worked on throughout the week. This is called the Summer in a Box. And I am knitting this with Barocco Renew, which is recycled fiber, and it's so soft. It kind of reminds me of like terry cloth. Ooh. I'm hoping that I can get this done in the next couple of weeks. But like I said, I've been kind of concentrating mostly on the Willow pullover. I did knit, I believe, another skein onto the body. So that's where the arm is, and that's how much I have done on the body. The construction on this one is pretty interesting. So I'm going to turn it around and show you the back. There's this long kind of strip that you knit lengthwise, and then you pick up from there and start knitting. I love this stitch pattern, and it's so easy and so easy to remember. And my favorite part about this is that once you get done with that, you've got a bunch of stockinette for a while. There are two different options for the bottom, which I haven't investigated yet. So I will get back to that. I will get back to you on that as soon as I kind of understand more about what the different options are. I think that there are different ways to do the ribbing. So I did actually get both this Barocco Renew and the Lang Yarns Regina from Little Knits. And I love to get yarn from Little Knits because a lot of times they'll have specials where you can get 5 balls of a yarn together, and it's discounted some. So that's where both of the yarns for this came from. I've been trying to investigate more into like summer type yarns, which is why I have this and the Lang Yarns Regina, which is cotton. I'm trying to remember this doesn't have cotton in it because I said it did last podcast, and then I had to correct myself in the notes and say no cotton. I think that it's viscose. Yes, I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm putting down the fiber content right below here, but I know it also has cashmere in it. It's recycled fibers, however they determine that, and it's from Barocco. I would definitely use it again, and I actually think I will be using it again because I still have more from this purchase because I should have only gotten 4. So it is what it is. Okay, so that's like all the knitting I've done this week. Like I said, I've been really concentrating on getting the Willow pullover done, partially because well, mostly because it's a test knit and I want to make sure that it's done, but also because I want to finish the Willow pullover and the Summer in a Box. Then I can do the hipster top and the Amelie. And then I'm like all caught up, except for hats, but I've always got hats on the go. Whenever I'm caught up on those 4 works in progress, I'm starting my Voyage, the Voyage cardigan. And I'm like so eager to cast it on, but I know that the second I cast it on, I'm not going to want to work on anything else because it's so pretty and I can't wait to make it. And if you haven't seen it, I'm going to put up a picture here and a link. It's a colorwork cardigan from Wool and Pine, and it is knit in the round, and you steek for the front and the arms. And I've never steeked before, so keep your fingers crossed for me that I can actually manage it, because who knows. But the way I see it is I'm either going to be okay steeking or I'm not, but I'm definitely going to learn something from it. So I will be investigating the crochet steek and kind of reinforcing it with hand sewing. So that's my like main goal, future plans. I can't wait to make that cardigan. Okay, so I told you that I had a couple of patterns to show you, and I do. So I've been looking for different things to make that aren't sweaters. So when I went to Ravelry, I looked up accessories, because I feel like even though I love making sweaters and I love making cardigans, there's only so many sweaters and cardigans that somebody needs. So I wanted to try different items, maybe things that I could gift. It's harder to gift sweaters and cardigans unless they're little kids, because it's harder to get sizes for people or make it as a surprise, or maybe they don't want a cardigan or a sweater and then that's a lot of work. So it shouldn't even really be a surprise. You should ask them first, and then, anyways, this is one of the patterns that I came across. This is called FloweryFair. It is by Anke Wintermans. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's all going to be up on the screen. And this is, the category for this is a purse. And it actually has 3 categories: handbag, a throw, or a pot holder. And as soon as I show you the pictures, which are coming up on the screen, you'll understand why. This is it says, this pattern for flowers in hexagon shape is created to crochet and overlay mosaic technique. So it says you can use any yarn you like for this pattern. The design stays the same, but the size of your project will change. So this pattern comes with 2 different ways to assemble a bag. So you can see that lighter bag right there, and then this more vibrant bag, which is the one that caught my eye. And now it's a hexagon, and it's instructions to make a hexagon. So you could technically make blanket or pot holders or anything that you can make out of hexagons with this. And I really do like this pattern. I thought it was really cute. It is about 9 0.95 euros. So it says about $11.30. It comes with detailed explanations on how to assemble the 2 different bags. So, I mean, but even though it's just the 2 bags, you could literally take the hexagon and do whatever you want with it. It also says that it's overlay mosaic. So that seems really cool. This is a crochet pattern, and I really love the idea of making bags, and I will have put that vibrant bag like on the screen so you can see the colors on it, but it really caught my eye. I love, oh, see, it says there's a photo tutorial too, and it comes with a chart and a written pattern. I've never done mosaic crochet. Have you guys? I'm wondering like how you do that and what it entails. Is that the one where you kind of crochet like 2 different layers? Because I've always wanted to try that. It looked like a lot of fun. But I think that bag is super cute. I definitely want to make it. So, speaking of bags, have you guys seen, and I've seen like several different podcasters make like little tiny granny squares, like super tiny ones. I know I was watching Mouse's Makes, and she was making a blanket out of like the really small squares. So every time I see one of those projects with the really small squares, I really want to make like, I want to take the small squares and put them together to make like 3 large squares and then make a bag out of them. Like one of the, I'm putting a picture up of the shape I mean, because I've made the bag, like a bag like that before, but out of bigger squares. So I'll put a picture up of the bag that I've made, and I want to just make that same bag, but instead of 3 big squares, like make the 3 big squares out of small, tiny squares. So if you followed what I just said, good job, because sometimes I can't even follow what I say. So I have another crochet pattern for you, and this was also something that I was looking for. It's going to be fall before we know it, and I've always wanted a poncho, and I've just never really made one. And I really like the crochet ponchos. And then I ran across this. So it was like a trap. This is called the Franny Granny Poncho by Hannah Cross. So there are 2 different ways you can do this. Do you see that top one? It is a way, she shows you how to take this poncho down below, right there, and put sleeves on it and make it into like a sweater. And I love that. I'm definitely making that. That has to be on my list. I've never seen something like that, and I don't know if it's just because I'm not paying attention or what, but I think that is the nicest thing ever. It is so cute, and you can see like up by the neckline, there's granny squares there, and you have no idea how excited I got finding this pattern. So this is, you can actually buy this on Ravelry. It is about $11.14 USD, or about $8.25 British, oh my gosh, pounds today, I'm telling you. So, it says this easy granny square poncho pattern can be made with or without sleeves for either a sweater or traditional poncho with a fringe. There's actually a free version available on the website, so I thought that was pretty cool. It is made with worsted weight yarn, and it comes in sizes to fit busts between 30 to 62. So that's a really good size range. And the crochet terminology is in US. And did I say it's in worsted weight? Because it is. It says it's a great beginner crochet pattern. That is so cool. This, like, do you guys like that pattern, or is it just me? Because I totally think that's like one of the neatest things I've seen in a while. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that. It says it comes with, there's a captioned video, crew neck fringe in the round, long sleeves, positive ease, color work, top down, and a written pattern. So that's pretty cool. This next one, you guys are gonna laugh. So I said I live in southeastern Michigan with my husband and my 2 kids and my 3 cats. We are big cat people here. I am a huge cat person. I have been a cat person my entire life. We've had dogs before, and don't get me wrong, we would 100% have another dog. But being in a wheelchair, dogs are such a huge responsibility, and I love them, and there's nothing more loyal than a dog, but we just can't swing the responsibility right now. So we have cats, because cats are very independent and can basically take you and leave you. Take you or leave you. So that is my spiel on this pattern. This is called Polkacats. And it is by Marna Gilligan. And it comes with this cute little chart. And you can either make a cardigan or a sweater. And who does not want a sweater called Polkacats with cat color work on it? That's what I mean. It is done in fingering weight yarn. The pattern seems to be pretty oversized. It doesn't say how much ease is on it, but you need between around 1,200 and 2,800 yards. So there's 10 sizes available, from an 80 centimeter to a 170 centimeter chest circumference. And I thought that was really cool. It says it comes with a photo tutorial, and there are it's colorblind accessible, so that is really awesome as well. And part of me thinks that this would be really fun to do the cats in like a self-striping yarn, and another part of me really thinks that my daughter would love to have a cat sweater like this, just like me. And if I make this for me, I'm gonna have to figure out how to put that chart on like a flax, because she's gonna be very sad if she does not get a cat sweater. It says it includes full instructions for this sweater and for both a steeked and flat knit cardigan. And there are elbow and long sleeved options. So that's interesting. This can be steeked. Well, obviously anything can be steeked, but it also includes flat knitting instructions. I wonder if that's going to show up. So do you see the other side, the inside? That is really pretty. Right there. It's almost like polka dots on the inside. Oh, so many things I want to knit and so little time. If I didn't tell you the price on this, this is about $10.81 USD, or $8 British pounds. I own this next pattern, and I dug it out of my library because I wanted to remind myself that I really need to actually make this. And, you know, the blue that I made from the Willow pullover, that blue color, I might actually be able to make this next pattern out of. This is called the Corbis sweater by Natasja Hornby. And this is super cute. And the thing that I like most about this, and there it is how it is constructed. Because you start by knitting, like it says, let me read how it actually states it, because otherwise I'm going to ruin it. You will start the sweater with a top-down triangle that will form the center of the upper back. Once the triangle is worked, stitches are cast on for the front neck, after which the yoke is worked in the round until the underarm. After finishing the yoke, the gaps at the side of the body are closed working short rows, after which the lower body will be worked in the round down to the lower edge. The underside of the sleeves are filled similar to the sides of the body using short rows. Stitches for the neckline ribbing are picked up and worked in the round while using decreases to shape the ribbing. So I don't know if you can tell, but the way that this pattern is, the texture on it, because of the way that it's constructed, is really neat. It says that, I'm trying to think of, so it has twisted stitches, eyelets, cables, bobble or popcorn, dolman sleeve, bracelet sleeve, or long sleeved, and it's knit on the bias. So yeah, I would really like to make it in this color though. Let's see what, so first of all, it needs fingering weight yarn. So that's going to be my first problem using the blue or the pink yarn. That's DK. So it needs fingering weight yarn. Your yardage that you need is between around 1,000 to 1,800 yards. And the sizes available are between extra small and 3X. So this pattern is about $9 USD, or about around €8. The words, oh my gosh. The sample is knit from Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, which I've never used before, but I've heard wonderful things about. This seems like a really good sweater to use pure silk on though. So what do you guys think? This is just a fingering weight top. It says it's a sweater pullover. I think that this would be like a good spring or fall top. I really do. I think that that is definitely a good spring or fall top. Which means I should probably be starting working on it soon, right? Oh, it's basket weave. It says the rhythmic basket weave yoke changes organically into tactile diamond shapes, resulting in a powerful and dynamic interplay of lines and shapes. That is the thing that caught my eye about this pattern. Besides the way that it's constructed, like the texture is completely... Normally when you knit, you can either go up or down or like sideways, but like it's so cool how she constructed this sweater. You definitely have to take a look at it. So I'm not one for shawls, but I saw this and I started thinking about how much fun it would be to make this. And it is called Lothlorien by Mark Roseboom. So this is actually a free pattern, and it is knit from Shepshi's Whirl. And this is so pretty. these black and white pictures are terrible. I don't know why I'm bothering. I always put other pictures up. So it says that it uses 1 Shepshe's whirl. A whirl comes in cakes of 215 to 225 grams and has a length of 1,000 meters. The yarn is made from 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. So it's basically like a long gradient yarn. And it's fingering weight. And it uses around 1,000 yards. So the sizes available are 64 to 30 inches. I mean, the shawl is 64 to 30 inches by 30 inches. So whenever I look at this, I just think of how nice it would make like a lap blanket or something. Because I'm not one that wears like shawls, but I would definitely cover up with something like this. And it comes out pretty big. And the pattern name is a nod to Lord of the Rings. So it was a free pattern, and I saw it and I thought that, wow, it's so detailed and so beautiful, and it's a free pattern. So I wanted to show this. It says that it's a half circle shape. It's lace. It comes with a schematic, written pattern, and a chart. So if it was a half of a circle, hear me out here. So it's a half of a circle shape. So couldn't you make 2 half circles and sew them together and have 1 big circle and then just use it as like a blanket? I don't know. See, I'm interested to see how this works. Like how the pattern works up. I'm not a shawl knitter, so I don't know, like, when you make a half circle shawl, do you start from like the straight edge, or just, I don't know how it's constructed. Part of me wonders if somehow you could take this half circle shape and make it into a full circle, because I would probably like totally make this if it were a full circle. Now I want to make it, but I'm in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how can I turn it into a circle? Just because it's more of a better blanket shape if it's a full circle. So pretty. So if you guys like to knit shawls, take a look at that. It's lace and it looks like a ton of work, but it's so pretty. I love it. And that's the end of the patterns that I have to talk about to you today. Good grief. Did you guys hear that? We have one of those bird feeders that stick outside the window so it's clear so you can see in it. And we get birds all the time. Like earlier today, I saw red-winged blackbirds, and then there was a female cardinal, and that big noise that you just heard was like a squirrel jumping into the bird feeder because they want to eat too. So it is what it is. I like keeping the bird feeder out there just so I can see the different types of birds. We've seen like a thrush earlier this week, the red-winged blackbirds. We have a male and female cardinal that are constantly, like, we constantly hear them. If you've never heard a cardinal before, look up how they sound because they're so cute. It's just like little peeps. So they're definitely unique in how they sound. So we always know when they're around because we know what they sound like. Okay, sorry, I got distracted by the birds outside. So that was all for the knitting and crocheting that I had to talk to you about this week. Don't forget, if you want to enter for the pattern giveaway, please leave a comment down below. It can be anything that you want to enter. Just don't forget to leave one. I will be talking like 5 minutes about life. There's not much going on. I've been reading some good books. I have been reading Charlie Dornley books and Charlie Donley. I think I'm putting it here because I don't know how to pronounce it. But I read a book called Don't Believe It. And it was about a girl who is accused of killing her boyfriend while they're on vacation at a destination wedding in St. Lucia. And she ends up getting prosecuted and thrown in jail. And about 10 years later, a woman comes to film a documentary and starts looking into her past and realizing that maybe this lady didn't kill her fiance and all this other stuff. So eventually the lady gets released and then they realize, oh no, she might have actually done it. So it's a good book. I really like that book. The person who wrote it also wrote The Girl Who Was Missing, or The Girl Still Missing. I'm putting it down below. The Girl Still Missing, which was an excellent book. If you ever want to read like a good psychological thriller, maybe, I think that's what you'd call it, then I would check the one that I just put down below, about The Girl Who Was Missing, or whatever it was called. It was about two girls who go missing from the same party, and one ends up escaping, and one ends up escaping like 2 weeks later, and she makes it back, and nobody can find the other girl, and they end up basically like a year after she comes back, they end up trying to figure out what happened, and it's a very good book, and I'm not giving it justice explaining it. Just maybe read the little description on Libby or whatever, but I really did like it. I'm actually reading another Charlie Donley story right now called The Survivor, and it is about a 17-ish-year-old girl who ends up surviving a triple homicide of her mother, her father, and her brother, and she ends up doing it because she hides, and then the police show up, and when the police show up, she's holding the gun because she's using it as protection, and the police end up thinking that she was the one who killed her family, and for like the next 2 months of her life, she's basically accused of this horrible crime. She ends up getting basically acquitted. I don't know if that's the right word. They basically figure out that she had nothing to do with it, but like the damage is still done, and you know how the media is. So anyways, it ends up like many years later, and now she's working as an investigator, and she's investigating another crime and still trying to figure out what happened to her family. So those are the two books I'm reading. I gave up on Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King, just because I wasn't giving it enough attention. I have not been in a very good book reading mood. I have not been in a very good anything mood. I'm having trouble concentrating on the books I am reading, so it is what it is. I also gave up on Glass of Throne, which really like bothered me because I waited a very long time in the Libby queue to get that one, and I just realized, I'm not paying attention to this. I don't want to read this. so I gave it up. And if I want to read it again, it's going to be like 100 people queue. So it is what it is. Have you guys read any good books lately? Because if you have, put them down below, especially if they're psychological thrillers, because that's totally where my mindset is and the books I like reading. I also love Stephen King. I love science fiction. I love science fiction, Stephen King. I like horror books. I like more psychological thriller than horror. If horror is like gore, I don't appreciate very much. I like horror for the sake of like being scared, not for the sake of just violence and all that stuff. So I guess you would probably call that more of a psychological thriller. I don't know. I'm running out of ideas on things to read, so I've just been kind of looking through Libby and just seeing the recommended books and trying them out. But other than that, that's all I've been doing this week. I have been concentrating super hard on a work project and kind of, sorry the battery died. I was just talking about work anyway. It's been a week. I'm glad that it's over. I have been kind of concentrating on, I moved away from studying AWS stuff to kind of studying a new framework for work. So I've been working on that, and that's pretty much it as far as like life stuff goes. We're going to be going on vacation here in like August-ish. So my in-laws are coming down, so that's going to be exciting. The kids are super happy about that. But that's pretty much it. That's all that I got. If you could, please give this video a thumbs up or hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I will see you guys next week. I hope that you have a great week. Oh, and don't forget to leave a comment below if you want to be entered to win this next week's giveaway. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.